Hey everybody, it's me Margaret, and I'm here with some yarn projects today, and I'm going to talk about those, but I'm also going to talk about some discontinued yarn and probably why it's discontinued. Several of them, as a matter of fact, that I just didn't enjoy working with. So let's start with crochet, and this is nothing that I haven't done before, the basic beanie done in camel stitch. I do it all the time because I love it. I love the way it feels. It's nice, thick, and warm, and I really like the way it almost looks like a knit stitch turned on its side. So I think that's great. Obviously, I just changed colors when I got to the brim portion, but this is that big lots yarn that I'm finally using up. And here was the last of it. And all this is a basic half double crochet beanie with camel stitch on the brim. And you'll notice that I held two colors together. That's a white Caron Simply Soft with one of those strands of the big lots yarn, which was very thin, and then the Caron Simply Soft with one of the pink. And you can tell that the colors are not as bold because they're mixed with that white. So I thought that was pretty, and the big lots yarn is, I think it's all gone. It's pretty close to being all gone. I've talked extensively about this particular Big Lots yarn a few videos back. Big Lots is a discount store here in the US, and you never know what items they'll have at any given time. All the Big Lots yarn I have was purchased at least 5 or more years ago. Clearly, I'm sticking with my goals to craft from my stash. And then I did one of these. Now, I'm not sure what you call this. I did not use a pattern. I just did this myself. But basically, it's a double crochet beanie, just a basic pattern. And I just threw in a front post double crochet every so often. And that's where you get that. And then down at the bottom, again, I was using up all of this. I needed to put a tiny little bit down here at the bottom. And I finished off with a crab stitch. Can you see that in here? And crab stitch is nothing but a single crochet going backwards for the most part. But I loved that hat. I liked it a lot, so much so that I did another one. Now this one, oh, and by the way, these are bulky yarns. They're Charisma, which is a loops and threads. That's a Michaels brand yarn. It's rated as a number 5 bulky. So I used all of the white up on this part, and then I had a small portion of this left, and then I realized that I wasn't going to have enough to finish. All I had was this much, and that wasn't going to give me enough to get the proper length that I needed. So I was like, oh dear, I may have packed it all. So I ran to go see what I had left, and I found this color right here. This was this generic yarn that came with one of those cheap knitting machines that I test out, and it's entirely too big. You shouldn't use this bulky size on those inexpensive machines. You'll probably break needles or something. So I just put it aside and kind of forgot about it. But look how good these colors go. I love the way this looked. And basically it's the same pattern as this, but I inserted a few more front posts here and there so that I would actually have more of them. You can see how there's fewer here. And finished off with that crab stitch on the bottom. And the crab stitch, I like it because it does finish things up. I've never used it before. I've known how to do it for quite some time, but I don't know why, I just don't ever think about it. But it is stretchy, so it makes it a great edging on a hat. So I like that. And that brings us to knitting. And this is just a basic beanie with a 1x1 rib down here. And I have to say, I loved working with this yarn. Now, I am a knitting snob. I can crochet with anything, but I cannot knit with just anything. But this was awesome. But what was it? A Big Lots yarn that I can't get anymore. It's 100% acrylic. Look, it was just $1, and it's just wonderful to work with. I really enjoyed it. But let's look at it for a second. What this is one color mixed with a few other colors making stripes. This would be an awesome way to use up your scraps. Now you can see here that it's just plied together, but why couldn't you just hold 2 strands together? Because when you work with them, they twist themselves anyway. So I thought, let's give that a try. And this was the result, and I think it came out great. I only regret that I didn't have more colors. Like this one uses green, gray, olive, and blue, which I thought was kind of neat. And I only had 2 colors, well 3 if you count the one that ran through everything. And this is just a basic beanie too with a 2x2 rib, and I did it in a large size. I had gotten on Kick where I was making baby hats, and I figured I better add some larger sizes in here as well. So, but I thought that turned out great. But I can't stand this yarn, and I almost threw it away about 4 times trying to knit with it. And here's what it is. Vanna's Choice Compliment, and I'm pretty sure this is totally discontinued, and I can certainly see why. Do you see the halo effect that it has on there? That makes it difficult to work with. The yarn doesn't slide easily against each other, and heaven forbid you have to tear it out, because it's really hard to rip back, because those little fuzzies tie themselves in knots. They tie themselves together. It calls itself a number 4 worsted, but the actual part right there, not counting the fuzzies, makes it feel a little bit less than that, maybe a DK. But because of the fuzzies, you really do need to use a bigger hook in order to make it work. So I found that I used an eye hook crocheting with it. Actually, that's a project I'm working on right now, and that works well. Here I was holding 2 strands together, so it was pretty bulky. I used a 6mm needle on this. I bought this on clearance on closeout, and I was so excited that I got this great price for it, but now I know why, because it's Yucky. So I'm glad that it's being discontinued, but I have several skeins of it that I need to use up. Okay, frustration won out. I hate this yarn. I was trying here to work out a Saturn hat for crochet to figure out how to get the similar look as those knit baby hats I recently did. And I went too far right here, wanted to rip back, and the ripping process is horrible. You see this right here? I mean, it's caught because it ties itself up into little knots, and it's so frustrating. So all that yarn that I thought I got such a great price on is now sitting here in the new giveaway pile that we had to start because we've already donated the last one. But this is where we keep everything because we just keep finding things that we want to give away. And it's really a shame because I really did want to love it, but I just can't work with this stuff. And speaking of giving things away, the other day a nephew picked up the dining room, the outdoor furniture, and the gas grill. So, I see the dining room is bare. That thing we're giving away, but the box behind it is going with us. But my goodness, look, there were 2 chairs there that are gone. All the outdoor furniture. The other nephew came in and got our couch and love seat. So, pull up a kitty bed and have a seat. Note that I brought the kitty carriers out just to make them more friendly. They've always liked them fine when they're open, but they freak out when I close them. And no, they won't have to spend the entire 12 to 13 hour ride stuffed inside. And by the way, someone mentioned to me that regular Vanna's Choice was being discontinued, or at least was not available in stores right now, that you could get it still online. I don't know, hadn't been yarn shopping in so long that I can't confirm that, but I did do a quick search and several people were commenting that they think it is discontinued, but Lion Brand has not given that confirmation as far as I can see. So this was kind of like their flagship line. So I'm not sure what they're going to replace it with, but I'm eager to see. This yarn at first I thought was wonderful to work with, and later I realized it's not. I bought this so long ago that I'm not sure if this is in stores or not now. It's called Brunette Bamboo. Now I know you can still buy bamboo yarn. I don't know if you can buy this particular kind, but this is definitely best for, well, I think it might be best for a shawl, but let me tell you, it's so soft, slick, and shiny that this thing would never want to stay on your shoulders. It would be slipping off every 5 minutes. Furthermore, to work with it, I found it to be very heavy. I mean, it is a heavy yarn. The finished product feels really good, and I think for a hat, it's great. It'll stay put on your head, and that's wonderful. But I didn't like working with it. It gets heavy on the needles when you start getting, you know, a lot behind you. So I can't imagine what working on a shawl would feel like when you had all that material, you know, that fabric you've created adding up. But I don't know. I've got this left, that little bit, and 3 skeins in another color. So I like the hats made up, and I probably will make some more, and then I probably will never buy solid bamboo again. Actually, I don't think it's solid bamboo. Let's see what this says. It says 86% viscose from bamboo, 12% acrylic, and 2% polyester. So I probably won't buy this again. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I experienced it. But bamboo, this heaviness and the slickness, they don't make a good combination in my mind. Somebody else might love it though, because it is soft. It's really nice. It's actually kind of cool to the touch too. I think it's neat, but not for me. Oh, and I love working with this wool spun, and I didn't have a chance to look and see if this is discontinued or not because I've had this in my stash forever. Do you see a theme here? I'm using up yarn that I've had for ages. So let's see, this is considered a number 5 bulky as well, and I love the way it knitted up. This is the way it knits up. First of all, let's look at this one. This was a solid blue that I had of wool spun, and then this was the faux fair isle version that comes with it, and it's just so pretty. I loved all the colors in it, and I loved the way it worked up. But I only had a little bit left, so for this hat I inserted another blue stripe and then used it up like that, and then finished off with the blue up here since I didn't have enough for a whole hat, and I thought this turned out great. This one is a wool blend. I think I forgot to say that, and I love working with wool blends. This is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And speaking of wool blends, this is from Hobby Lobby, and a while back I did a haul where I bought only sale price yarn, which were some great prices by the way, that I had never tried. Now this is a regular price of $4.99, and I got it for $1.24, and I loved this. Now I have scoured this skein, and I cannot find where it gives you the percentage of wool to acrylic. It clearly says blend right here, but I can't see where it tells you what the content is. So I just looked inside, and there's just a pattern in there and no information about it in there either. But it was wonderful to work with, and would I buy it again? Absolutely, as long as it's not discontinued. So what did I make out of it? I did a waffle stitch hat, and this is done with no pattern. I just happened to look up what a waffle stitch was, how to do it, and there you go. I did pretty well on the decreases up here. I always find decreases challenging, and I'm not the best knitter in the world, so it's, you know, kind of still new to me, but I thought this came out really cute, and I do plan on making some more waffle stitch. I would like to experiment with 2 colors. And last but not least is this little baby hat. This is a Big Lots yarn too that I had started a while back and never finished. I forgot about it. So I just finished it. This is a slip stitch color change thing, and it's okay. It's not my favorite way of doing color changes, but anyway, I finished that.
Remember when I told you I'd been watching the old 1960s dark shadows on Tubi TV? Well, one of you pointed out that it's also on Amazon Prime, which doesn't have commercial interruptions, so I'm watching it there now, and I'm still finding it hilarious. And now that I got to the color episodes, those 1960s decor and clothing choices are pretty entertaining too. Julia's hairstyle is exactly how I used to draw hair when I was a little girl. By the way, did you know that you can find out what services carry shows just by Googling them? See? Dark Shadows can be watched on Tubi, Hulu, and Amazon Prime.
Now, I've talked about this before. I have a Bluprint subscription, and for those of you who don't know, it was formerly known as Craftsy, and now it goes by the term Bluprint. And I joined as a year-long subscriber, so I pay for mine yearly, and I have access to the entire site. And that's really good for me because my short attention span, or if I'm watching a class that is not really speaking to me, or I already know everything that's in there and it's not what I thought it was, I can just click on something else and I haven't really lost anything but a few minutes of time. Now they also have some fun shows on there too that I really like, but we'll talk about that another day. I'm bringing this up because they send those emails every so often to tell you some interesting things that are happening on their sites, or maybe somebody had gone through and collected a lot of great information to share with you. And in this case, the topic was knitting patterns for spring/Easter, and some of them were so adorable that I'm going to share them with you now. Now keep in mind that they have a pattern library that's very similar to Ravelry's. You don't have to join, you don't have to be a Bluprint member, you just have the link and boom, you access it and you can buy these patterns, or some of them are free. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you now, is the conglomeration of what I thought was really cute from this particular grouping. Look in the description box below for all of these links. Let's look at them now. So we'll start out with some knit bunnies, and look at this one laying on its tummy with a little scarf. And then this one is the giant arm knit bunny, meaning you don't need to use needles. You literally do it with your hands, your arm. There is a different shot. It looks like there's two different sizes maybe, see on the bed? And look at this one. Now for $3 you get all of this. You get the bunny with the little dress, a bunny with a little hoodie. Is that a hoodie? Yeah, that's a hoodie. And that looks like Peter Rabbit, the well-dressed bunny it's called. So cute. And look at the teeny tiny bunny, little bitty. And look at its little back. Now it doesn't have a pom-pom tail, but you could put one, but I think that's cute. And look at hen and chicks. So cute. Oh, and this is fun. Now, if you don't want to dye eggs at home, but you want to be Eastery, you could keep a collection of these and decorate each year. I thought these were adorable. They're kind of a check pattern. And note that the pattern is only $1. And look at this, the Easter egg sweater. Now, this is, yes, you get the pattern, and note that it is free, but there's also instruction on how to dye the yarn. And look, you do it with Easter egg dye while you're dyeing your Easter eggs, it looks like. So cute. And then here's the Elderberry Bunny, and again, this is one of those collections, so you get the clothes that go with it. And there they are, all naked. Aren't they adorable? And there's your little girl outfits with their Easter bonnets, and your little boy outfits. Well, I guess that's both. That's overalls and a dress. And little hats too. Now this is another Easter egg cozy pattern, but instead of being $1, this one is $5, so it's a little bit more pricey, but it is cute. So then I went on a hunt for crochet patterns that would fall into this same category, and I found some of those too. So here's the hatching Easter chick, and it comes out of its little egg like that, so that's really cute. And look at these guys. Now the color, I'm not sure what's going on with the color here, but it looks like they have little pants on maybe, or maybe a blanket or shawl, I don't know, but that's cute. And this is a set here, and you get your chick and your chocolate Easter bunny and a collection of eggs in a basket or nest, I guess you could call that. And then they give you a little goodie sack. And look at this little floppy-eared bunny. How precious. There's the back. And look at these friends. I love this. Look at their ears. They're lined with fabric. Isn't that cute? And there's the side view. And then you've got this adorable bunny, and he comes with his tiny little scarf, or hers, I guess. There they are, made up in different colors. And this one is just flat out comical, and I want to hug it. I love the hat, I love the little coat, I love the carrot in the pocket. And with the same pattern, just by changing up the button placement, it looks like you've got a double-breasted coat versus a regular type coat. Different colors. It's just adorable. And then look at this, a Dino Egg Cozy for any little dinosaur lover. And when I clicked on that pattern, it actually took me to Etsy for this download. I didn't know that you could list it in Bluprint and then have it take you to Etsy, but when it did, look, it gives you some similar egg cozy options up at the top. So don't forget to look for Etsy for some unique patterns. And remember, all the links for these patterns that I'm showing you are going to be in the description box below. I bought a bag of vegetable medley, you know, stuff already cut up. And I noticed on the back, it had this sticker, and it says extends freshness naturally. On the inside, you can see it's got, you know, one of those green things that helps take out the bad gases as it's oxidizing. Makes it fast. Well, anyway, I just bought it today, so I can't put it to the test, but isn't that interesting? And another YouTuber that I have talked about before is Catherine from Do It on a Dime. She doesn't do any yarn videos, but she does a lot of DIY, and she's a huge Dollar Tree fan. She's also a professional organizer. She has a great channel, and I watch it all the time whenever she comes out with something new. And her most recent video, as of this recording, she did spring and summer decorating with DIY. So she went into some of the higher end stores, she got some great ideas, and then she waltzed herself right into the Dollar Tree and very quickly and easily remade some of these with, of course, Dollar Tree items. So I'm going to link that video below too. I love smart people. I like to share them. Now I'm leaving you with some pictures of my new grandpup. This is Nash. Maggie got a new puppy, and we'll get to meet him in person when we go to Texas for the house closing in, gosh, a little over a week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.